Hey everyone, my name is Kabi and today I'm going to show you yet another game played after the wipe. So these two players have been quite far to the leagues already, been sitting comfortably inside the Warrior League, but slightly above 1k rating. And in the top side of this map, it's called King of the Hill, I believe, because we just changed it recently. So here as a dark player appears Domino, who we are quite familiar with, and his opponent is someone being called an unknown player. So we're gonna call him just a light player, I believe. I'm not sure who he is, actually, because nobody admitted to be this guy. And this might be as someone of the better knowns, but just opted for not changing the nickname and so staying like unrevealed. Or maybe it is actually the new player, which we don't know yet. And both options are possible. But anyways, we are gonna to see a fancy dark against the light. And we can also see that Domino is back to his trademark build, starting off with a Pixie and a Sawmill into the 11 Workers and then the late Rocks and the late Goon. While his opponent plays actually something about the same, because I started with a farm, then to the Sawmill and to the Rex and into the 11 Workers as well. So we can also see the Worker going forward. I'm not sure what is this about, because obviously we don't... Alright, this is the Dwarven Fort, so there is the possibility of the cannon rushing too. I may as well just be a tool to sort of match the swordsman with the goon, but I'm not even sure that Worker can match those. I'm probably gonna check it someday, but what's happening here is Goon is being hit by the two swordsmen, so actually swordsmen took their way all the way back to the base, while the Worker actually scouted and tried to force the lizards to attack the Goon. Actually, that wasn't a great call, I believe, but anyway, the Worker died, and the light player is gonna go the Warsmith so far and probably accompanied with the Bombardier or the Princess. We can't be sure if the guy already has the Princess open. On the other side of the map we can see Domino going the Vogue Riders. Players claim that the Vogue Riders are actually not that great as the Wolf Riders used to be. Not because the mount changed appearance, but because nobody has the rare sets so far. And those I believe to be the source of the power of those units. It is actually not the case anymore, because we are changing the equipment. I'm not sure if you follow our devlog this closely, because it is a bit of a boring numbers too. I personally don't like too much of going deep into the numbers, but I still like to pick up the highlights, and I'm actually trying to give you guys the highlights with the text I make. And what about those units is actually their equipment become not so powerful, so it basically became weaker, but at the same time their base power is gonna be buffed a little bit quite soon. I believe it is gonna be live next week. If you have been watching this a few days after we publish it, probably it is already live, but anyways. We can see the addition that we recently introduced for this map, because the small chests now appear in the middle of the map. Not really in the middle, but in the middle part. And Probably Domino forgot about that, or consciously opted to go for the Golden Idol instead. But it's just a few days of this change being to the game, so probably just not familiar with that yet. The Golden Idol used to be on the right side for Domino's base and on the left side for the light player base, but we also swapped it just to be those corners somewhat interesting for the players. There's also a suggestion to actually move the main base here on the shore and the second base here. I'm not sure if we're gonna make it. This is what I passed to our level designers recently, so maybe they will do it or maybe not, we'll see. But this version of the map is already better. Still a little bit unbalanced to the left side probably, because everyone leaning towards the left side because it is a shorter path. And that's not really the greatest thing for the map. But changing the map layout is rather hard because we also use it in the campaign. But we can just move the bases. So it won't be that valuable anymore if we make it. So we just witnessed the Warg Riders trying to harass a little bit, but harassment is actually not the greatest part of the most efficient part of the game just now. I'm not sure if this is good or bad. I believe there are good part in it and also the bad part. The bad part is you probably just can't realize the quick units apart from the Fox Rider. You can't even realize use the Fox Rider if they have the cannon near the workers, but the light player actually placed their cannon quite far from the worker line, so if Domino will be light, he could have used the Fox Rider. He's dark though, so he's gonna use the zombie. And actually in this match, players are quite a good match to each other in terms of the content. Well, actually, it seems that Domino has the Eater, while his opponent doesn't have the Princess, I think, but they have the Paladin and the Bombardier. But they both have the flying stuff, so they have Zombie and the Venom Spitter. And the light player has the Fox Rider and the Wind Mage. But they also miss something, so Domino's missing Rocketeer, and it seems that the light player's missing Sniper. I'm not 100% sure. Just briefly overviewed the game before recording, so I saw a couple of things just to make sure that the game is interesting. So I briefly ran throughout this on like X10 speed. Not sure in details what happened here. But anyways, we can see the players taking up to the good stuff. Domino acquired all of the items on his part of the map, but at the same time he actually lost all the 3 chests. Not the greatest stuff for him to have. He probably wasn't really expecting some random player to be this good. El Domino actually is now believing that the light is significantly stronger than the dark. And this probably even the real case right now. We can see a bit shift towards the light in terms of the win rates. So we are gonna affect it in the future balance patch, which is coming soon. Oh, that was somewhat a miss. I'm not sure. Probably player just misclicked or pre-chosen the target, so just pressed it a few seconds ago, and then the dark player's army just moved away. Bombardier still went to shoot at it because his ability is not target. Alright, so pretty much what I meant, but the bad part is that zombies are not the fox riders, so they can't hide in the forest. That would be fancy stuff if zombies could hide in the forest. Just imagine the zombies crawling out of the forest. What a creeping stuff to happen on the map. That would be really scary. Those zombies are not, though. They didn't kill a single unit. The only unit Domino killed was killed by the Sharp-Torn Scroll. He was able to use thanks to this mana well that he's gonna lose relatively soon. But at the same time, Domino can also steal the mana well off the player. I would use the low HP Varg for that. We can see Domino's actually has the 2 altars of heroes. That is a smart play. What's for me, I usually go for the 3rd racks or probably the workshop. I believe Domino may not have drill yet. Or maybe he just doesn't believe that the drill is any good, I'm not sure, but he doesn't build a workshop as we can see, but instead he went for the 2 hero altars to be able to replenish the 2 heroes at once. That is a smart stuff to do. I never did that. I'm not smart, apparently. Alright, so that was a fancy ring of fire, but then it ended, and the light players using the defense scroll to buff the survivability of the light units. Domino's trying his best to split the Venom Spitters from the Wind Mage's splash. But the poor part of this play is that he's not controlling them after that. So they just randomly hit the archers. Well, they actually finished off 1 archer, but they could instead finish off the Wind Mage. There is the very low HP one in the battlefield. But instead the Eater is doing the great job, so he finished the Bombardier, but probably Eater's not gonna escape from there. Of course the regeneration does its job, because it is the undead thing, so all the undead things have the tremendous regeneration. Any undead thing can fully replenish in 4 minutes. So you can see how quickly this HP bar is being replenished. Also a great thing to fight with the undead stuff under the Undead Obelisk, because Domino is gonna have his Venom Spitters back from the Undead Obelisk. So when you are fighting near your base, try to always make sure you are next to this thing. If you have expensive undead stuff like zombies or Venom Spitters, especially Venom Spitters, because they're also quick, so you can quickly move them towards them. Alright, so the good stuff for the player now is that they obtained both of the chests and also tacked up to the 2 factories now, as well as the 2nd sanctuary, throwing a meteorite on the head of the X-Master. So the idea of the players seemed to be to quickly finish off the anti-air, to then kill everything with the Wind Mages. And this all is happening at the 15th minute mark, where all the 3 chests appearing on the map. So this left one is probably go for the Domino's name, who has the 2 Dark Gates, so is able to quickly spam out the Venom Spitter stuff. And in the meantime, nobody took care of the other 2. So Domino's gonna take one with the Goon. And Venom Spitters are about to see if they can apply a quick harass. The light player moved the sawmill far away. I actually know the two players who is fond of making such a stuff, moving the sawmills far away. One of them is White Unicorn, the other one is Snowy. So now I wonder if this light player is one of those two. Still might be just a new name in the pool. We can never be sure. Even though our top players such as Domino are obviously good at the game, they are not like godlike. Not Maru, not Serral, not Happy, who are basically unreachable for the newcomer for the first, let's say, 3 years of playing. Of course, we all are still the newbies to the game. Just some of them are slightly better than the others. Probably sitting back here wasn't the great call from the Domino, because he's about to lose all the X-Masters. At the same time, Gun re-obtained the right chest. But it seems that the Eater's gonna die a second before the active ability was ready. Unlucky stuff for Domino. But he's probably gonna steal the Golden Idol now. Which is quite a smart move, but obviously players gonna do the same, so gonna mirror this action. Right, so I didn't notice this tail for the Venom Spitters actually. That is the new model we recently introduced. But I just wrote it like, we updated the Venom Spitter model. I didn't really see it moving. So actually I think that model might even be the same, but the animation was updated. And it looks fancy, I like it. We're doing our best now, trying to update everything we have in the backlog, polish everything, because we are gonna out on summer. The game probably will not pop up in the Google Play for all the countries at once, because we will still need to do a lot testing in the purchases, stuff like that. But there will be no more wipes, and you will be able to start off from the APK file if you want.
The point is captured. The point is captured.
But all the countries that are available now will be also available when we launch, so most likely you will be able to play the day we started. And this is why little things like this tail and this firing ropes, whatever it's correctly called in English, I'm not sure. I'm poor in the bombing theory, you know. But I'm gonna actually check out the term, I guess, for the future usage of the gaming commentating. Alright, so what does the light player have now? Is the 5 bikers, also the 3 wind mages, a couple of archers, and the paladin. And it is the supply cap. Not too big, because you only obtain the 4th farm in the Captain League. In the Warrior League you only have 3 steel, and you're really limited to the tools you might get. So the Gloom Scroll is being used in the play here. We are gonna buff it, by the way. But heroes did a great job inside the Gloom Scroll, by fact. Only 1 Wind Mage left, and pretty much all the bikers went down, so I'm not sure if this is about a Gloom or just about the 2 heroes, but it wasn't too bad, I believe, for Domino. also floating thousands of wood.
Forces are under attack.
But he's quite short on gold, trying to re-spam what he can. Basically the X-Masters and the Venom Speeches too, and the great ultimate of the Eater is probably gonna take, not really take out Paladin. Paladin's gonna have his dome soon, need a little bit of micro, and going forward was clearly a mistake. Should have been pulled back.
The point is
Everybody forgot about the left chest though, so the light player probably gonna take it now. And maybe it is time to think about the gold mine, because this one's gonna expire soon. My clicks somewhere sometimes do not work, I'm not sure why.
resources collected.
Still didn't have time to report this. Not the highest priority for this fix, but I'm gonna make it in the future. Alright, so Eater gonna eat this poor bloke.
The point
Sorry, pal. Nothing personal, just hungry.
attack.
Alright, so players are nearly supply capped yet again.
The point is captured.
3 Venom Speeders and the 3 X-Masters and the 2 heroes. Not the biggest army. But you can also maintain the careful micro with every unit when you're this short on the unit's number. And once again Domino's late for the mid chest. What the unlucky events for him at each and every chest in this game. So players really doing the great job taking those. Not doing the greatest job in the running of the Eater though. When I'm looking at this, how these units are being stunned by the Eater, I don't think it is Snowy anymore, because Snowy is one of the most experienced player of Vikers. And so is Unicorn. I'm not sure. Probably Domino's just doing the greatest stuff, but it looks a little bit like a miss micro to me. I'm not judging, I'm not the best player myself, but I just don't think it is Snowy anymore. I'm not sure if White Unicorn has a Twink account in the Warrior League. There's a possibility, of course, but I don't know. So if you are the player number 682, give us a call.
Point is captured. As I predicted.
I just wonder who this guy is and if he or she might be interesting to send us even more games. We love to watch the greatest games. So here comes the third Rax, and the third Dark Gate. Domino is really about to spam his ass off in this game. 3 Rax, 3 Dark Gates, and the 2 Altars of Heroes. Look at this. So this is what you do when you are supply capped at a little amount. So when you are in a position like this, you can't really create the big army, which is quite obvious stuff to say, right? So how you overcome the other guy's army if you can't outnumber them? Because imagine they been able to have 124 like in the second phase of the testing. So you trade and you trade great. So let's say you go down to 90 and your enemy goes down to 50. So when you are 120 again, they only have 80. So you have like 50% as much. and you can trade that second. But if you guys both capped at this little, they will be replenished just as quick. And what you can do is to add even more production stuff. It is of course also dangerous because those buildings are quite expensive, because the next one of the same type is twice as expensive. But it is the only tool you can work with. So you wanna grab all the resources you can, and you can have even more production. The last stuff I also personally love to use on the little limits is the workers. So I genuinely pull workers, because look, Domino has 8,000 of the freaking wood. He doesn't ever need this much. Probably he needs this for the 1 hour game, but he can make more workers. But he can take those and attack with them. So they will take a few shots, they will go in the first line, they will die, of course, but they will split the damage of the enemy's army. I'm not sure if you really need to do this on this stage, but I did this on my first-person stream that I held in the Russian channel, and I used that when I was defending, and I think it worked great. I think I barely survived because of that. That was a nice game against Tihonia. So anyways, we can see how those zombies gonna shine, because Demon is about to combine them with the Ring of Fire. So he killed the rats with the zombies, get even more zombies, and now he's killing the archers. Not the greatest stuff though that those girls are able to escape. That's the great stuff for the light player, of course, just not for the dark player. And the light player decided to go for the guardsman. I heard that the guardsmen are quite good against the zombies. I'm not sure why exactly. I would probably opt for the warsmith, but we can see that the player is going for the guardsman. Probably it is about the resistances. I'm not sure about the numbers. It's just that I feel it like the warsmith are good, but that info might also be outdated, honestly. Alright, so Demonos being able to take care about the bombardier. Player actually has enough stuff to resummon the hero. Right now they are adding the second tower of the light magic, because the elven tree is still there. It is actually the warsmith now, but merely because the human monument was destroyed, I believe. Alright, it was that way. So elven tree's been replenished, and in the meantime all the dark units were killed, and now the solo biker stole all the stuff on the left side of the map. What a great call! Because the light player eventually survived in the base. Didn't lose all too much, apart from the couple of buildings, of course, and actually the Elven Tree 2 is quite an expensive building, but still, now getting resources from the enemy's altar. What he needed here was a sabotage, I believe. And he's a light player, he doesn't have it. I'm sorry, guys. Just forgot that the light player doesn't have sabotage. Not sure if he could have used the meteorite, but probably didn't have enough mana by the moment. So now it is 30-minute mark, so all the chests are on the map again. And guess what? Guess what? Demina is not gonna take a single one, yet again. So for some reason his timings are entirely off for those chests. He's fighting great. Really cool, but he's so much off those timings. It is very hard to overcome the strong opponent if you are that back on the income from the resources. Well, actually, Fox Rider is way better than the zombie, but this girl is too low on HP. But all the army is gonna reinforce here. So probably Domino is not about take the chest, steal. Also, the spell is a little bit slow to be able to catch up with everything. Great micro with the foxes, actually. No healers in the game, on the map. So nobody can really treat the force right. The fox. And it seems that the bombardier's gonna go down. The light player doesn't have any heroes now. Still has a couple of units though, and also the meteorite. X-Master gonna die, the other one is very low on HP. I'd say that those archers had to actually kill the X-Master. Because then Wind Mage gonna take everything else. Alright, so it works. It reuses the ability and yeah. The biker's been stunned once again. So now the only thing that left is the Wind Mage. But the Wind Mage is actually unmatched here. Uncontested. Because nobody hits air in the Dark Army, and I'm not gonna add a couple of Venom Spitters. Probably that doesn't have enough food. I can't remember now, but I think that the Venom Spitter is worth 7 food. So probably he didn't have enough, so he decided to go for the zombie, who's I believe a 5 food worth. Strangely enough, the light player decided to add a knight. A knight uses an attack on move. It seems that we also updated animations for it. Looks fancy. Alright. This zombie didn't enjoy it, I tell you. This poor pal, he never can catch up with the army. That's why you don't really wanna have the Warsmith in the late game. But now those actually are the good units for the early and the mid game at least. So once again Domino goes for the Gloom. The scroll that reduces the attack range and also the armor, I believe. I'm not sure if it actually the armor or the or a resistance, but it is the same effect, so it doesn't matter. So all the enemies inside the Gloom receive more damage. And what we are gonna do with it is we are gonna buff the radius. So it is gonna be huge on the map. So you will be casting Gloom and your enemy will literally be like, wow, it is so big! They will tell it, I swear you. So it will be able to cover more units, bigger armies, and probably zone the armies away. Because in this game we can see, I believe that Domino's probably at some degree he's just been testing the scroll. But he also shows us how the scroll is quite decent. Of course, always an easy... Once again, I just go for the light player. What's even happening? But it is obviously also the easier decision to use a scroll that does the plain damage. Like, just make it and kill it, right? But from my personal perspective, support scrolls are even more interesting to use. The better stuff for the game. I won't be too surprised if we'll be giving more support scrolls in the release. And And they also should be like good matched against the attacking scrolls if you are a handy player. So, an interesting decision from Domino. He spams off a few zombies. So, against the Warsmith, he gonna just make even more zombies, and against the Biker, he's gonna slow them down to prevent going away, kiting, stuff like that, and also doing his best to repair the Citadel, but the Bombardier with the ultimates finishing that building off. And there is still quite a bit of gold in that spare mine, but in the main mine there is nothing left. And a few zombies took care of the workers, it seems. But the workers gonna go to the right side. Actually, Domino could have tried to also kill those rats. The light player raided the copter, even a few ones, because he saw the zombies, of course. Domino's stealing the mana well, going all the way down here to steal the second idol. And if he does that, and if the light player lets that, he will be completely denied from any income, apart from the chest that even light player forgot about now. Right, and I'll try to do something with the rats.
The point is captured.
So he also noticed the Domino's force on the right side, of course. Here comes the sabotage. Why he kills this is because the Elven Aura prevents the necromancy, so the zombies can't work. The zombies can't make the new zombies. Of course, you want them to do so. Here comes the meteorite, a couple of X-Masters being killed, but still quite a bit of zombie in the army. Domino just really needs to micro those to kill the healers in the first place, I believe. Eater in the meantime does a great job stunning the paladin, who still was quick enough to use the Dome of the Light that saved him, but still no much against the two heroes. Zombie keep producing the new zombies out of the light units, the great stuff in the late game. Warsmith actually does a great job against the zombies. Of course, if this one's being killed, there will be more zombies, but along with the copters, they are doing fine, I think. But the dark heroes are still too high on HP. We can see the HP on the left bar too. So Paladin go down, and Domino merely retreat with the two heroes left. And in the meantime, the light player decided to creep this one with the tower. And also steal the idol back if they can. Really needs to send those copters here, honestly. Dark player does not have the gravity scroll whatsoever, so why not? And only now, after literally 2 minutes with a half, somebody remembered about the mid chest. And also the two other chests pop up at the 40-minute mark. So now the player is entirely denied from any mining. And the only stuff he has are those units. Domino is also quite high on the resources, also supply capped. And the players being way too low. And that means that the blue player won't be able to come back anymore. But that really costed Domino somewhat a great effort to beat this guy. And this is why he shared this battle with me, to show us that it seems that the new player appears on the horizon. Or at least some other player is good enough and doesn't use the real nickname now. I'm not sure. But anyways, what I'm gonna tell you guys is that you also had the great fight in the close battles, in the recent battles you had. You can send us to the Discord. That is the best way to send us the screenshot from the replay. Straight from the loading screen is okay. We have a special channel on the Discord server that's called Share a Battle. So you can drop a screenshot and a couple of words like why this battle was great. Like, we played a long micro battle with a base trade or stuff like that. Why you think this battle is worth recording and worth watching. Why you would like to watch it if you've been just a viewer on YouTube like you are now. And probably we will make a video out of it. And for this one we're gonna wrap it up. Thank the players for the awesome game. And thank you guys for watching. My name is Kabi. I'm a community manager for War Legends. And I'm gonna see you next time. Bye bye.